guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today is very special because I've just come back from the Samsung Galaxy S10 pre-brief in preparation for today's launch. I got hands-on with all of the Galaxy devices, so in this video I'm going to be showing you all of the variants, design, specs, and my overall first impressions review. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Drop a like on the video if you've been really excited for the Samsung Galaxy S10 launch and you're over the moon that it's finally arrived. The Samsung band there, which I've still got on, and I'm not really sure why, because I just look like I've been to Glastonbury and I've not had a shower. I have had a shower, all right? As we go along in this video, I'm going to be rolling clips from the pre-brief in London. Hi guys, it's ASBYT and we are at the pre-brief for the Samsung Galaxy S10. We've got the S10e, the S10 and the S10 Plus. So of course you're watching this today, but this was done a couple of days ago. So we got first-hand early access to these brand new range of devices. Now of course the video I did about a week ago touched on pretty much all what we were going to expect. But right now, let's just confirm up some of those specs for you. So the E model comes in with a 5.8-inch, 19:9 flat, full HD plus dynamic AMOLED display. So it's now a dynamic AMOLED display, which differs from the Super AMOLED displays that we've seen previously from Samsung. If you want more information on the differences, I'll have to get back to you on that one, because I'm not too sure right now. The regular Galaxy S10 is a 6.1-inch 19:9 wide Quad HD dynamic AMOLED curved edge display. The Galaxy S10 Plus is pretty much the same, just 6.4 inches in size. And again, for that 5G model, exactly the same, just 6.7 inches. So we've got 5.8, 6.1, 6.4, and 6.7. So that should really cover most bases. If you want something different than that, then you're being incredibly picky, okay? So the E version is of course the kind of budget version of the Galaxy S10. It's still got a lot of very similar aspects to it, including specs and design. The main difference of the design is of course it is a flat screen compared to the infinity curved display that we see on the Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus. Now as you know, the main 4 devices in the Galaxy range all vary in size, and as a result they vary in weight as well. So if that feeling in the hand is important to you, we'll just touch on the weight specs. So the Galaxy S10e comes in at 150 grams, the S10 regular comes in at 157, the S10 Plus comes in at 175, so a fairly big jump for that one. And then the 5G model comes in at a whopping 198, probably down to that massive screen, to be honest. And there you can see the exact size difference when placed flat together at the bottom. And one thing to note, the E model is perfect for one-hand use. So if that's something that you struggle with, still having to use 2 hands, you don't like that, then again, perhaps the E model might be better for you. As well as a difference in curved display and flat display, we also have difference in cameras on the front as well. So we have the dual camera on the Plus model, and we have a single camera on the E and the standard version as well. And the wallpaper is very cleverly positioned to hide the dual camera at the top on the Plus. Now, not everyone, but a lot of people's intrigue for new devices comes in the form of what's new and improved about the smartphone camera. Now, while in this video I can't really go into too much detail on how I feel it differs from, say, the S9 and the Note 9, that will be coming in videos very soon though, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you've turned on the notification bell if you want to see those. But let's just clarify those camera specs right now. Now, straight away, just to note, the regular and the Plus model both have the exact camera... What was that? The exact same camera setup, and we'll get to that. And then we'll touch on the E and the 5G models because they differ slightly. So the regular and the S10 Plus have a 3-camera lens setup. And this consists of a dual pixel 12 megapixel OIS wide f1.5 and f2.4 AF. And it also has a 12 megapixel OIS telephoto lens with f2.4 aperture and again with AF. Is a 60 megapixel ultra wide lens with f2.2 aperture, and I believe it's fixed focus as well. So in layman's terms, we have the primary regular lens which has a dual aperture, so you can go from f1.5 for when it's kind of dark out for your night shots, right the way up to f2.4. And this gives you great control, especially in those low light situations. Something we saw in the S9 and the Note 9. We also then have a wide angle lens, which is going to be very popular. And we have the telephoto lens as well for when you want to zoom in and not lose any clarity. Now, as I predicted in my video last week, the E model drops one of those camera lenses, and the one they drop is of course the telephoto. So it has the primary and the wide lenses. Now the 5G model has everything that the S10 and the S10 Plus have, but it also has a fourth and final 4 camera lenses on a smartphone. Is that too much? We've seen it with the Samsung A9, which was released at the back end of last year, the world's first 4 camera lens setup. We've got it again with this 5G model. So that 4th camera lens on the 5G model has an HQ VGA, a 3D depth sensing camera. Now we flip to the front camera on all 4 models, and the E and the standard regular S10 have exactly the same setup. They have the 1 camera lens, and it's a dual pixel 10 megapixel lens with autofocus and f1.9 aperture. Now the Plus and the 5G models get that additional lens on the front camera, but they do different things. So the Plus model has an additional 8 megapixel lens with autofocus and f2.2 aperture. The 5G model, on the other hand, has an HQ VGA, a 3D depth sensing camera. And again, while it seemed the front-facing camera was better than last year's, how much better, I'm not so sure. One area that I hope they have improved, and like I said, I haven't had a chance to fully focus. See what I did there? Camera? No? I didn't get a chance to look at that in more detail. Hopefully I will with my full review. Now on to RAM and storage. Again, we have different variants across the different models. So with the E model, you can either have one with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, or 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, with the possible additional micro SD card slot for 512 gigabytes. So straight away, even if you get the E model, you can get some serious storage. Now onto the regular model, we have 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, or 8 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. And again, the possibility for 512 micro SD card. This probably looks really strange to everyone else here. Now we're gonna get a little bit stupid. Okay, because the S10 Plus model, even more so than the 5G model, because we'll get to that as well, but the Plus model really does something that I didn't think would happen currently in a smartphone, and I'll talk to you about the options. We have 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. That's the only variant for the standard build of smartphone, but of course, if we jump to the either ceramic black or ceramic white models, you can have either 8 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of internal storage, or 12 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of internal storage, with the potential for that 512 micro SD card. 1.5 terabytes of storage in his smartphone. Who out there would actually ever manage to fill that up is beyond me, but it is still great to have that internal storage. And again, 12 gigabytes of RAM for me personally, don't think it's really necessary for a smartphone currently with what we can do with smartphones and what people do with smartphones. But again, why wouldn't you choose to have it if you can? Of course, if you can afford it, because that's another matter which we're gonna get to as well. And then nice and easy for the 5G model, you have one variant, 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, again with that possible micro SD card expansion. That for me seems a little bit strange. I think most people that would want to go for that 5G model would possibly want options for bigger storage or bigger amounts of RAM if you can get that with the Plus model. I'm not really sure why you can't with the 5G, but again, just my opinion. And of course, you may not need it. You may just want 5G, standard, bam, done. Next. Right, now we're going to jump onto battery, and again we're probably going to cover most people's battery needs with the 4 different devices. The E model comes in with 3100 mAh battery capacity, the regular version comes in with 3400 mAh, the Plus model comes in with 4100 mAh, which decent, can't complain about that. And the 5G model comes in, obviously with that larger display, you're going to need to power it, it's going to take up more juice. 4500 mAh battery capacity. You're probably never going to struggle for battery life with the Plus and the 5G models. I'm not sure without testing how the regular and the E models are going to stack up. Obviously the E model has the smallest battery, but it only has a Full HD Plus display, not Quad HD, and it's a smaller display as well to power, so it might be good enough. Now the color options are I'm trying to remember from the pre-brief. I didn't write it down. Too casual. Maybe I should have done, because I'm probably going to give you the wrong information here. But in my head, we're going to go with colours. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below, but I'm going to be there or thereabouts. We have Prism Blue, Prism Green, Black, White, Ceramic Black, and Ceramic White, possible plus model variants. And the possible extra E model variant colour is Canary Yellow. I think I'm right with that. I've got a weird feeling I've missed a colour, but that should do you for now. Now, one thing I believe Samsung, and we'll know when this video goes live, that I think Samsung will be talking up at the launch is the ability to wirelessly charge other devices using the wireless power share. And this is a feature that runs right across the 4 different devices. This isn't necessarily new. It has been done by other brands, but it's still relatively new on the market. And it's the first time that Samsung have produced a product that's used it. Now, Samsung are also releasing their wireless earbuds, which can be charged using this form of wireless charging from the smartphone. And these earbuds will be made available on launch as a free gift with pre-orders in certain regions. Also across the board, we have fast wireless charging 2.0. And one thing that separates the 5G model from all the other 3 is the super fast 25 watt wired charging. Now, while that, again, that might not be the fastest on the market currently, it's still pretty quick. Now, again, another thing that's going to be talked up is the 3D ultrasonic fingerprint recognition for unlocking your device. This is going to be right across the board from the regular, the Plus, and the 5G models, and that is, of course, in the display. Now, on the E model, the fingerprint sensor is actually on the power button on the side. I don't mind that option, but there are a few of you that are skeptical about that. Let me know in the comment section below whether you think that's going to be a deal breaker for you. The SoC is going to be region specific, so if you're from the States, for example, you're going to get the Snapdragon 855 from Qualcomm. If you're from Europe, you're probably going to be looking at the Exynos 9820. Similar in terms of quality. Some people prefer the Snapdragon variant. Other people will prefer the in-house Samsung Exynos SoCs. Tomato, possibly. Let me know in the comment section below which side you're on. Now, all 4 devices have 2D facial recognition, so it's not going to be the most secure, but also as a result of that, it's probably going to be fairly quick. So again, it's whether you prefer speed over security or security over speed. Just juggling here. Was never really good at juggling, to be honest. What on earth is this video turning into? Headphone jack is there, of course, a bonus for a lot of you guys. Stereo speakers again. Now, I'm usually a big phone kind of person, but actually in the hand, in first impressions anyway, I actually quite like the regular S10. That may change over time, of course, and I may end up going over to the Plus model because of that bigger display and, of course, that second front camera. In terms of my preference, I would either go with the regular S10 or the S10 Plus. I think the 5G model for me is personally too big, and I think the E model, while it's great for one-handed use, like I've already said, I am a sucker for an infinity display. I just love the way they look. I love the immersive feeling you get with that Quad HD Plus panel. More risky to drop. They will break easier than the flat screen, of course, but that curved display is just my guilty pleasure, unfortunately. Out of the 2, what would I say was my personal favorite? I would sway towards the Plus model for the battery and that additional front-facing camera, but the feel in the hand, I think I actually preferred the regular. Slightly reduced form factor, it still felt big enough. Now, in terms of the front-facing cameras and that punch hole cutout, or the Infinity O display, or whatever you want to call them, the Wart display, I think I said in my last video. While I personally don't mind it and think it's probably better than having like a large notch, I'm not sure whether it's better than a water drop notch. And also the wallpapers were very cleverly made by Samsung so that it kind of hid that top right hand corner. If you were using it a lot and you were browsing the web or using anything with kind of bright display colors like white and yellow, and you are going to see it, it's going to be a lot more in your face. Again, I think I would get used to it over time, but whether you guys want to get used to it is of course another matter. Now, in terms of pricing, I'm not currently 100% sure on that. We weren't given that information sadly at the pre-briefing, but hopefully you will have watched the launch. You'll know what that is, and you can write in the comment section below so that anyone's watching this now, we will know the pricing. And if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I probably would have tweeted or posted pictures about it already. All in all, some amazing devices this year again from Samsung. They will certainly be one of the most popular again this year. How it compares to some of the other smartphones that are going to be released, we will have to wait and see, and I will of course be doing those video comparisons for you guys. So if you want to see those, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. You turn on the notification bell so that when I post those videos, you are notified. Here's where you guys come in. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Galaxy S10 range. Do you prefer the E model, the flat screen? Do you prefer the regular? Do you like the slightly larger Plus model? Are you gonna be the 12 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte ceramic person? Or are you gonna go for the next gen 5G model? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts. I'll be sifting through and I will try and answer as many comments. I'm not sure what this is. I'm swimming? I'll try and answer as many comments and questions as I can. I'll love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. It's ASBYT. Peace out.